Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be making one of my favorite little snacky snacks that I loved to get when I was living in Japan, and it is for kare pan. Kare means curry, pan means bread. We are making a curry-filled bread, and they're absolutely wonderful. A little kind of oval-shaped pastry that has panko breadcrumbs on the outside, fried nice and crispy and golden, and inside you have kare, or curry, usually made with ground pork or beef with potatoes and carrots and onions. It is absolutely delicious. And pretty much every supermarket you go to in Japan, there'll be a fried food section. Deep fried foods was introduced to the Japanese by the Portuguese. And there's so many beautifully fried, wonderfully tasty treats, including tempura and ebi fry and kare pan. Wonderful. You don't have to stink up your house. You don't have to have vats of oil that you have to dispose of. You can just go to the grocery store and purchase them freshly fried. And I would grab a kare pan. It was one of my favorite little lunchtime snacks. Curry, or kare as it's called in Japanese, is a delicious dish in and of itself, and it usually consists of some kind of protein cooked with potatoes and carrots in a curry sauce that's usually mild in flavor. It's not so spicy. It usually doesn't have too much heat, although you can find spicy versions. The sauce tends to be almost like a gravy in consistency. It's typically served with rice, eaten with a spoon, and is absolutely delicious. Most families, I would say, make kare at home using kare blocks, which you can find at the grocery store. You can find them here in the States. I buy them all the time. They're super handy to make a very quick, fast, tasty meal, and it's super easy to make. I have an old video. I'll put a link above and down below. In the description, I'll include links to recipes and videos I watched for inspiration. The dough recipe I'm going to be using was inspired by Abram. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. There seems to be some construction in the neighborhood, so if you hear, banging, sawing, that's just construction. Alrighty, so in this bowl I have 200 grams of bread flour. If you want conversions, I will put a link down below to a printable recipe link on my website that includes a handy dandy converter. So if you're using volumetric US or you're using metric, you can just click a button and it'll convert it for you. Add a tablespoon and a half of sugar, a half teaspoon of salt. Whisk that together, and 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil. Now we're going to add 120 milliliters of milk, and I warmed it up in the microwave for about 10 seconds just to take the chill off. Bloop. 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. Mix that all together. Okay, so once it gets shaggy like this, knead this to form a dough until all the flour is absorbed and the dough is nice and elastic and smooth. Rub a little bit of oil all over the dough ball so it doesn't stick. And now I'm going to cover this and place this in a warm spot for about an hour until it doubles in size. My handy dandy oven has a proofing setting, so I'm going to go ahead and place that in there since my space is a little bit chilly. So while the dough is proofing, let me walk you through the steps of what I did to create the filling. So in a skillet on medium heat, you're going to saute 3/4 of a pound of ground beef. When that starts to cook up, you're going to add a half of a finely chopped yellow onion. So continue stirring that and sauteing it and sweating it up until the onions start to look translucent. Next, you're going to add 1 medium carrot that you've finely diced and half of a large russet potato that you've also finely diced. So as you're cooking this together, the goal is to soften the vegetables, and you may need to add a little bit of moisture. So I added 1 to 2 tablespoons as I was cooking this to make sure things were moist, but you don't want it to be too wet, so be careful not to add too much. So then cover it and allow things to steam up a bit so that your carrots and potatoes get tender. Add 2 curry roux blocks. I happen to have Vermont curry on hand. Any brand will do. Use your favorite. And again, you may have to add a couple tablespoons of water to help the curry blocks melt. So now we have to let this cool completely before we add it to our dough. After an hour, you're going to divide the dough into 6 equal pieces. Draw up all the edges and pinch them tightly. Flip the dough over and then using your hands in a cupping motion, go round and around forming a ball of dough. And then cover them and allow the dough balls to rest for 15 minutes. Here is my cooled filling. Grab a ball of dough and roll it out. And place about 2 tablespoons of filling inside. And then we're going to drop the sides and pinch this closed. Pinch, 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 pinch. We want this to be nice and tight. We don't want these to burst while we're frying. Now we've got a seam right down the middle, then fold it over, and then reverse it, and then give it a little bit of a roll to kind of seal it. So in this pan, I've got some panko breadcrumbs. They've got this great coarse texture to them. So in this pan here, I'm gonna crack a large egg and whisk that up. Now we're going to take our little breads and dip them into the egg bath and then transfer them into the breadcrumbs. Press the crumbs in there so they get a nice coating. Place that onto a square of parchment. I'm going to repeat this for the rest of these, and after these, rest for about a half an hour. In this pan here, I've got a couple inches of oil that is coming up to temperature. I'm getting it up to 320 degrees. I just saw my kid run by the window running with a hammer. At least they're not scissors, but a hammer. And we're going to drop our kare pan in, paper and all, everything. And then we gently slide the paper off. So the reasoning for the paper is to maintain the shape of the bread. Gently. We don't want to overcrowd the pan because then it'll reduce the temperature down too quickly. We're going to cook these for 2 minutes on each side or until they're nice and golden brown. Shh. Ah, these are looking beautiful. All right, this. Yes. Beautiful. So a couple of my kare pan have stretch marks, but don't we all? I'm going to cut it in half so you can see what it looks like inside. Ding, 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 ding. Looks like mine got a little overproofed. Do you see how big and bubbly that is? I think it's still going to taste delicious. Itadakimasu. It's such a wonderful combination of textures and flavors. The outside is crackly crisp, yet chewy and bready in the middle, slightly sweet, not greasy or heavy. And inside we've got this beautiful curry that's moist. Which is flavorful, slightly sweet and tender. Got the tender potatoes, the tender carrots, sweet onions, and just the crumbled meat in there. It all just works so well together. Alrighty, my lovelies, now you too can make homemade kare pan. If you're slightly intimidated by the whole process, don't be. At least try making Japanese kare. It is so delicious. My children love it. It's easy, it's fast. You can have it with rice, you can even have it on toast or on top of udon noodles, which is my favorite, but super simple, easy, and it's a great recipe to have in your repertoire. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Oh, check out my website. I will include a printable recipe. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! And yeah, bye.